Hello everybody, my name is Maher and don't mind me just waiting until 12 AM for my birthday. Woo! Well, it's 12:01 AM. What am I supposed to do now? I got it! Want to watch a movie? Throughout this year, I've noticed myself becoming very fond of physical media, particularly of DVDs. I know streaming exists, but I still find owning physical media of your favorite movies or TV shows to be a good investment for many reasons. For one, we're in a very scary time right now for media. With stuff like Warner Bros. Discovery constantly canceling shows or writing them off for taxes, you'll most likely be required to own the DVD release of your favorite show if you are afraid to pirate. Not to mention, even if a show isn't being sent to the Shadow Realm to be written off for taxes, that doesn't stop it from jumping from service to service, because my god is licensing a nightmare. Wanna watch the Mario movie? Well, currently it's on Netflix, however for 4 months it was on Peacock, and after 10 or so months, it'll be removed from Netflix and put back on Peacock for another 4 months. Now for the big question, who has Peacock? Even ignoring streaming's problems, there's still just inherently upsides to owning DVDs or having DVDs still exist. For one, like I said, it'll always be here. No need to worry about it disappearing or being written off for taxes. Another pro is all special features. Not all DVDs care about you, but the ones that do feed you well. Deleted scenes, behind the scenes, alternate takes, music, extended scenes, concept art, trailers, promotional art, interviews, commentaries, and more can all be found if the DVD isn't made solely to make kids shut up. And this is something I absolutely love about DVDs. Plus, you also have all the styles of DVDs. For example, collections! These are your chunky boys, the type of DVDs that contain full seasons of an entire show into a single box set. I love these, they would take up most of my collection. It's very interesting to see how different box sets organize themselves. Simpsons uses an accordion style for their DVDs, and they get laid out really nice. Meanwhile, other DVDs like Spongebob, Scooby-Doo, and the Jetsons tend to use the more traditional way of storing DVDs in a case, which I find to be serviceable. Sure, it's easy for them to snap off, but if you're careful enough, you shouldn't come across this issue. Now, Rugrats is my mortal enemy. All 172 episodes of Rugrats fit inside this beast of a package. Now, this isn't an issue. The way how they store them is. What the heck is this? Why are DVDs stacked on top of each other? That makes it 10 times harder to find a specific episode, because God forbid you want one that's below the other 3 DVDs that are stacked above it. It's just tedious to constantly remove and re-add DVDs, and they just feel bad to remove anyway. I don't know, I feel like I'm gonna break it with how hard the grip is. Not to mention how in order to fit all of them, you have this weird system where it's similar to Spongebob's way of organizing, except you have pages sync into each other and connecting and they feel sunk into the case and ugh! This is a terrible way to store DVDs. And it's not like Paramount had to do this, they could have separated them into multiple boxes like SpongeBob did for its DVD sets. So what's the point of this? Also, since we're on the topic of Paramount, can we bring up their DVD cover art? Not the box art, but the actual art on the DVDs. Why? I've never really had an issue with their all gray DVDs until I started noticing that literally every DVD that isn't from Paramount has cool covers. Why must you guys be fun ruiners? Okay, I take it back. Ignoring Rugrats, the only other box set I have that has a weird way of organizing their DVDs is the Magic School Bus Complete box set I got from Goodwill. They separate each DVD into its own case. It's not even organized by their season. It's just 7 episodes per DVD. So you will always have 1 episode be from the next season, while the other 6 are from the previous season. Why? Even the box itself mentioned how it's all 4 seasons of the Magic School Bus, so why did you do this? I mentioned the Simpsons DVDs back in their own standalone video about the first 2 seasons, but I still feel like I'm understanding how good these are. They're definitely the most premium feeling out of my collection right now. Instead of being a mostly thin paper slip box you have, this feels almost plastic-like, and it's fully designed around the unique cover, which isn't your standard DVD case. Like I mentioned, it lays out accordion, and I might prefer this more than the traditional way that DVDs are actually used. Solely because it's harder for it to break, as opposed to having them be held together with a thin piece of plastic that can definitely break if you're not careful. It also just allows for much more creativity, like there are 4 mini couch gags that can be displayed for the front cover for a single season. I love this. I also like it when DVDs in general would get a note from their creator or someone important from the show. For some reason, E.G. Daily, Tommy's voice actress, was the one to write a big letter for the Rugrats Complete Series DVD release, and it was hidden behind the box art. Look, I'm not trying to discredit her, but you think they would have gotten someone like Arlene Klasky or Gapo Chupo, you know, the curators, to do it? That'd be like if they got Dan Castaneda to write a letter for the Simpsons box set instead of Matt Groening, you know. Before I transition out of here, let's bring up Spongebob. The first 100 episodes and the next 100 episodes, seasons 1 through 9, I own. The first 100 episodes are probably the second best DVD box that I own. I'm sorry, Spongy, but The Simpsons outdid you in everything. But that shouldn't undersell Spongebob. Not only do you get the first 5 seasons, which are commonly cited as the best from the show, we also get unique UI and menus for each DVD, which they did not need to do. You also get shorts and special features, a music video, the original airing of Shanghai, complete with the original patchy segments and the alternate endings that never aired after the first airing, and that Square Roots documentary that has an entire section about if SpongeBob is gay. It's great. Sadly, I can't give the same praise to the next 100 episodes. This one just reprints the original season DVD releases with a new cover over the DVDs. My box set didn't even include the new cover for the first 4 DVDs, so you have the generic, boring Paramount gray before they remember that they need to fool you, so the 5th onward has the new branding. This also means that there isn't any new special features. Any special features that are included were from the original season box sets, which didn't include much. However, despite that, I'm still glad that I own these, since I'm a huge fan of SpongeBob in general, so having an easy way to watch 64% of the show is nice. Plus, another pro for physical media, and a perfect example as to why streaming isn't fully trustworthy. This is one of the few ways to watch a midlife crustacean, the banned episode that currently isn't airing on cable TV or streaming. Apart from pirating, this is the only way to legally watch this episode. A similar point can also be made for the Simpsons Season 3 DVD box set, since that includes another banned episode, Stark Raving Dad. Though I won't go too much into it since I don't own it yet, plus new prints of the box set have since removed the episode because nothing is sacred. However, there is more to life besides complete DVD box sets. There's being normal. Now here's what most people will probably think when you mention DVDs. No more plain movies. I also like these. I'm mostly here for the type of special features a DVD brings. Yeah, you do buy movies to watch a movie, but I don't know, I always find myself gravitating towards everything besides the actual movie on DVDs. Back when ads were not the bane of everyone's existence, I actually liked the ads you get on DVDs. Would I prefer if there was a way to skip them instead of being forced to watch them before you get to the menus? Absolutely. But for what they are a time capsule of the year you got them from. Like, dude, Futurama's airing new episodes on Comedy Central? No way, I gotta catch up. I really wish streaming would add stuff like this for movies. Disney Plus sort of has it like this, though it's usually only like a trailer and maybe a deleted scene or two. You'll really get all the special features the DVD has. I don't know what Black Magic Matt Groening had to do to get the Simpsons movie special features all on Disney Plus, and I'm kind of afraid to find out. You can also tell who cared about you personally by how many special features were included. Like, dude, Groundhog Day has an entire 50th anniversary edition with a commentary track and like 3 documentaries. Resident Evil Apocalypse lists seamless menu navigation as a special feature. I have to shout out Over the Hedge for having an actual video game as a special feature. Game in quotation is more of a choose-your-own-adventure type of game where they give you 2 options and each option leads to a different video clip being chosen. But I don't know, I still think that's more effort than some other DVDs would give. Lion King did a similar thing with its Platinum re-release. To be honest, this re-release has no reason to be as good as it is. Like, it's one thing to include all of this stuff, it's another to just flat-out animate an entire new scene and song for the movie years after it came out. Like, dude, that's cool! Meanwhile, Christmas Vacation lists its own trailer as a special feature. I'm very disappointed in you. The SpongeBob movie Sponge Out of Water is one of my favorite films, so to see its DVD release get less featured than The Good Dinosaur is sad. Though I do like how it has the need to let people know that the black bars are on purpose, your TV isn't broken, calm down. Their release movies are a lot more consistent overall. Now TV shows on the other hand, welcome to Funk Central. Now, don't be confused, these aren't box sets. Box sets usually include all the season or more, and usually comes with multiple DVDs that include a whole lot more extra content than normal. These are more of a casual entertainment experience that a parent will buy to get their kid to shut up for a car trip. These DVDs tend to usually include 4 or so episodes with a finite amount of extras. The complete series for Super Mario World only includes a storyboard for the theme song for crying out loud. I mean, it's interesting, but you'd think they would have more, you know? Also, the first DVD of the complete series will later be resold standalone for its own DVD set. And Circle isn't known for its quality of DVD releases, so I guess, am I even allowed to complain at that point? I like my copy of the Super Mario Bros. 3 show solely because of the fact that the DVD case is a Blockbuster case. Has its own logo stitched inside of it and it's fairly unique with how it shuts itself. It reminds me of how GameCube cases look. I don't know if this was a case of Blockbuster losing the original case and needing to improvise or if this was exclusive to Blockbuster specifically, but either way, it's a cool piece of history I own. Looney Tunes. It's insane to think I had possession of 28 of your tunes and I only watched the same 2 episodes. What was wrong with you? I like these though, I always wish they were presented better. Like, this stock art is rough and it just feels really cheap and flimsy. At least the plastic feels nice. Though it could always be worse. Volume 1 of Dexter's Laboratory Collector's Edition. The prime example of how you can tell that nobody cared. No special features, DVD split into volumes, stock art, and a stupidly thin case. This is gross. Blue Talks is such a nostalgic DVD for me. It is also such an odd release in retrospect considering the fact that it's about a backdoor pilot for Blue's Room, the short-lived spin-off about Blue and her own mini world that allows her to talk, and it's all about puppets. Without any knowledge of the spin-off as a youngin', I just assumed this was a one-time event of the show and not a backdoor pilot. I did like the inclusion of the 2 quote-unquote bonus episodes, which only raised the DVD amount from 2 to 4. Wow, they do care about me. Also, I generally can't tell if there were more episodes like Love Day that was just a normal Blue's Clues episode until the final few minutes where it becomes a Blues Room segment, or if Love Day is just an enigma. And I'm not going to do the research myself because I don't have the time. I would also be remiss if I didn't bring up my Canadian import that took 4 months to arrive just for a dumb video about the Magic School Bus. Once again, another win towards physical media. If it wasn't for Gold Store being dumped onto a DVD, it would have remained lost. Still have no idea why Netflix never aired it. I don't know why the cover art makes sure to repeat everything in both English and Spanish, but sure, why not? However, this is just about DVDs. What about the stuff inside of them? Menus and UIs for DVDs have always had their fair share of clunk, I'll admit. There'll always be a quick second of a pause in between switching menus, but depending on what the DVD does to try and mask it, it's usually a non-issue for me, just because of the creativity. The Simpsons get another win for this, specifically from the Season 2 DVD, because its menu mimics how the DVD appears in real life. That's so cute! I always liked when DVDs try to have unique transitional menus to go from menu to menu, even if it was never seamless. I will admit that most DVDs aren't really that interesting to go for a standard setup, and it does leave a lot to be desired, though it's not much of a game breaker for me. Now this one... Ew! This is bottom of the barrel, like sure it functions, but so does a lung with a tumor, sure it works, but you'd rather not have lung cancer, you know? I kind of hate how this looks. It's such a shame too, since these are legendary cartoons, so to see them get them treated like this kind of hurts. Also, I can't talk about menus without bringing up
Disney DVD is enhanced with Disney's Fast Play. Your movie and a selection of bonus features will begin automatically. To bypass...
Apparently this gave many children anxiety. I always liked hearing it, thought it was fun. One thing I did desperately want, however, was the Mickey emote. They advertised this on various shows on Playhouse Disney that would be compatible with various minigames that you could play. It was literally just a 4-button directional controller, but I don't care, I thought it was cool, and the advertisement always made it look like the coolest thing ever. God, I was impressionable. Also, once again, shout out to the Lion King Platinum Edition for this fun opening in CGI with Zazu. I guess since they had to hire someone to voice Zazu in the new sequence in the movie, they better get the most out of him. I don't know, I found it a fun time even if it was unskippable. Is the animation outdated? Sure, but it has its charm. Plus, Disney has always sucked at CGI, so it's not surprising. I wish they give as much effort into their movies nowadays as they did with their DVD release. But sure, this is cool and all, but if we want more DVDs, well, welcome to Walmart. If there's one thing I like more than DVDs, it's looking at them in a store. I particularly like Walmart solely because they do seem to care about DVDs a tad bit. Like, you won't find an entire section dedicated to full box sets of TV shows in a Target or something. But just because I like it doesn't mean I can't complain. For one, slipcovers. I first noticed this earlier this year with Warner Bros. 100th anniversary, where they would resell old DVDs with no new features, no new masters of the film, nothing. The only difference was they would include a new slipcover to make it appear like it's special, only for you to remove it and realize it's their way of getting rid of old stock they have. And they still do it beyond that. For example, Christmas. They all have this stupid theme and it only makes loading up their old DVDs worse. In some cases you can even look and find the original dates for when the DVDs were originally produced, and you know they're going to charge higher for this than if the slipcover wasn't there. This generally angers me because it seems deceptive. I'm not a fan. Also, speaking of prices, Jesus Christ! I didn't even expect I was going to dedicate an entire section about the pricing, but oh lord! These prices are just so random. Why are the Reagan Bass specials $50? Why is the Pokemon show $2 more than the Kung Fu Panda trilogy? Why is Barbie $20? Why is the Halls of Transylvania series worth more than the Shrek movies? Why is Chip and Dale $24? Avatar Way of Water is worth less than Rescue Rangers. Why is the complete series of Adventure Time $70? More importantly, why is Alf only $10 less? Why is Pinky and the Brain $40? Why is the TMNT movie worth more than Saw X? Wait, why does Saw X have two prices? Why is the Charlie Brown Christmas by itself $20, but the 6 special collection that includes Christmas $4 more? Pricing just feels like the Wild West with no rhyme or reason. Like the Like It movies are priced the same as a random TMNT show DVD collection. This isn't even the full series or a single season. It's like 6 random episodes. Why does it cost $19? Toy Story 1 is $19, but all 4 movies together are $30. Why is Toy Story 1 so much? Oh, Disney has also went on the slipcase thing. Though unlike Warner Bros, I can't tell if the inside is going to be an unsold DVD from the 2000s because they wrapped it in plastic wrap, and I'm not buying it, nor am I willing to commit a crime to find out. Futurama is $90, but at least has a proper collector's edition. Like, it has a ton of special features and goodies, and the box looks really nice, so I guess it justifies its price. However, some of these have no right being as expensive as they are. Also, I know this is a nitpick, but what is this? I don't understand why some DVDs get this treatment while others don't. Are people that prone to stealing Alf that you gotta put it in cuffs? I don't get it. Not to mention, this can ruin the box and crease it, so you have a messed up DVD without it being secondhand. Ew. So I know what you're about to say. Okay, Matt, you cheap bastard, why don't you go into the $5 bin? Funny you mentioned that. I love the $5 bin, because you can either find the best things for stupidly low prices or absolute garbage. Like, I didn't know the Antichrist had a price. Peter Rabbit and Cult of Chucky are both valued the same. I love Society. At the store I'm in, look, they have multiple seasons of South Park, seasons that house some of the most iconic episodes from its entire run. For $7! I bought Alvin and the Chipmunks for $6. I bought these solely for a reason that not even God knows. They are in Spanish though. Haha, Alvin y las ardillas. One thing I liked was how DVDs in English were like $4.99, while DVDs in Spanish were $4.98. That's discrimination. But you know, Spanish Alvin does lead to another point. These are Blu-ray releases. This year has marked my first step into owning Blu-ray DVDs. Blu-rays are technically superior to regular DVDs, 1080p will do that to you, though I still feel like the main reason normal DVDs never went away like VHSs is solely because Blu-rays are a bit proprietary. They require their own special DVD player which looks so similar from a normal DVD player that most people won't notice, and due to the decline of physical media, it never became a point where people were being nudged into it, like how people were nudged from the VCR in favor of the more affordable and compact DVD players. Heck, I only started buying them when I got a PS4 since it allows you to play them natively. For housing more storage, you think there would be more special content in them? Yeah, you think?
To its credit, most of the time it does include its fair share of special features.
Though I think it's telling that most Blu-rays usually include a DVD version out of fear that parents might have picked it up without realizing that it won't work on their player.
I also find the packaging to be odd as well. We're slowly reverting back to the cases being the size of jewel cases. I don't want this. But it's a fine upgrade overall, and while 4K Ultra HD DVDs are becoming the new hot thing, I doubt they'll be as mainstream as DVDs were, considering Blu-ray kinda had a fight to stay relevant in its own right.
I'm going to be brief on this since I want to dedicate an entire episode to these one day, but yeah, bootlegs.
Kids these days will never understand the feeling of a parent coming home with a new movie, noticing that the case is barely holding itself together or just doesn't exist, putting in the blank DVD with no cover art apart from the name being written in Sharpie, and watching a movie that was filmed with a phone instead of a theater that would end halfway into the movie because the guy filming got kicked out.
I definitely find bootleg films interesting, and when I'm able to find all of my DVDs I had growing up, I want to do a deeper dive into this. But for now, let's vibe knowing the fact that you had to pay for these. This is what we did before the internet, kids. Overall, I like DVDs. Shocker, I know. I don't have a shadow of a doubt that DVDs will ever become fully obsolete. Until streaming gets it together, I feel like DVDs will always have a place, even if it is way less popular than it was back in the 90s or 2000s. Without DVDs are slowly being geared away from, like, the public or, like, casual people, and being more geared towards collectors.
Frankly, I'm excited to see how DVDs will evolve from here, and with stuff like Ultra HD DVDs becoming the best way to view your favorite shows or movies, I'll be making sure to keep collecting and building on my library of DVDs. And I cannot wait to see where this form of physical media will go from here.
Man, DVDs sure are interesting. What time is it anyway? Oh god.